Welcome to our December reading wrap up. We are about to get into the solid reads that we had this month.
Oh, it was so solid. I don't think I rated a single book below 3.5 this month.
Okay, well, before we get into all the ratings and all the readings, please like and subscribe if you like our content and hit that notification bell.
I read 9 this month. How many did you read?
9.
Okay, get ready for 18 Rex, people.
The banter, the plot, the setting.
I was so unsure going into this one, but I really did love The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Allie Carter, and this was our Fable Book Club pick for December. It's like a Christmas romantic whodunit, like Agatha Christie meets Emily Henry.
It was in a big mansion called Mistletoe Manor in England. And it's an author's mansion. So it's just coded for all the readers.
The setting was absolutely one of the best parts.
I didn't know that Christmas books could be done well.
Well, now you know. It's like something unlocked for you.
More, please. I rated this 4.5.
I rated it 4 stars.
Which is very high for you for like a rom-com.
It was a good rom-com.
Let's go. We do have a review on the Gale Song trilogy, but I was able to read The Land and the Living and the Dead, finishing out the trilogy, and I had the best time. If you like a historic fiction with a little bit of magic sprinkled in the coolest Irish mythology setting, it is incredible. I will be recommending it on many videos to come. I rated it 5 stars.
I finally finished Rebecca Ross's Ruthless Vows, which is the second book in her Letters of Enchantment duology that starts with Divine Rivals. And I think I maybe even liked book 2 better than book 1. I think it had stronger pacing and it focused more on the main characters, which are the reason I was like reading the book to begin with. I gave Ruthless Vows 3.5 and rounded up to 4 on Goodreads.
Okay, the romantasy we needed.
Heavenly Bodies by Imani Erriu. We both got the opportunity to read this exclusive Barnes & Noble edition with sprayed edges. And it's not just a pretty like book on the outside. No. I actually really enjoyed this romantasy, and I have been in a romantasy slump.
This setting is like Aladdin.
It was kind of Aladdin coded, yeah.
I just love when he falls first. If you love romantasy and you want something that is quality, we both loved her.
I think she indie published her full trilogy first and then got picked up for traditional publishing. And so I think the whole series is out and available, but they did release this first book in special edition. You said you felt like SJM feelings reading this.
Oh yeah, it's been a long time since I felt like I was reading an SJM book, but this was giving.
I rated Heavenly Bodies 3.5 and rounded up to 4 on Goodreads.
And I rated it a solid 4.
I started my Wheel of Time journey in December. I read The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan, and I rated this a 3.5. I feel like this is a super solid start to a fantasy series. It's like teeing up the magic system, introducing the characters, showcasing the author's like pacing and cadence and the way that they're going to build the plot. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very solid. Did it feel a lot like other things I have already read? Yes. But I feel like that bodes well. Like, it's things that I like. It's just very like medieval fantasy. It's just like quintessential medieval fantasy. But I really enjoyed it, and I am very excited to like take in the whole series. And so I think that's what I'm going to do in January.
I read Januaries by Olivia Blake and liked it way more than I thought I would because it's a bunch of short stories. And I just wasn't sure if I would feel invested if I'm only getting a short amount of time in each setting with each set of characters. Oh no, this packs such an emotional punch. And Olivia has a way of like getting inside of my brain and twisting it around in ways I didn't know it could bend. So my favorites were The Audit.
Animation Games is my favorite.
Yeah, animation games can get it. So if you like short stories and you're curious about Olivia Blake, this is a really fun place to hang out. I rated it 4 stars. Oh, the Patreon did all the light we cannot see this month.
I loved the book. I think that this is a Pulitzer Prize winner for a reason. I think that the writing style is just very delicate. I mean, if you're going to cover a time in history with this many war atrocities and your main characters are children, you really have to have a lot of finesse with how you capture the experience of these characters without just making it like gratuitous and violent and horrific. But I think it was done so well here. And it's such a realistic story, but also I felt really uplifted by it, completely taken by the writing style from the jump. I was just like, this is very artfully done. This is technically excellent. I gave All the Light We Cannot See 4.75 stars, like almost a perfect 5. I did not love the show as much. We all talked about it in the Patreon because we read and we watch. The show was not a fave, but the book was excellent.
I agree. I rated this book 4 stars, and the only reason it's not a 5 is because my enjoyment was slightly lower because it's a war book, and it's really hard for me to not feel really sad. And sad is not my favorite emotion. But if anybody is going to do it, this gentleman can do it. Anthony did an amazing job. I love France so much, and just hearing about what the people went through there, being taken over so early, and our main character being so loved by her father. Like, I emotionally just was wrecked by the end of this book. I also love a POV of a young German boy being raised by that system. I've never read that perspective before. So if you really want a book that's going to be, yes, emotional, but well written, and it's just going to put you in all the feels, make you feel appreciative of your life, All the Light We Cannot See is a banger.
Yeah, World War II fiction. This takes the cake for me. Apparently, I was on like a World War kick between Ruthless Vows, which is like World War I coded, and then
During Christmas.
All the Light We Cannot See, World War II. And then I also read Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl, which is mostly a self-help book about the branch of psychology that he kind of patented, I guess, and that he practiced after surviving 4 concentration camps during World War II. But it also like backs up his philosophy based on his experiences as a Jewish prisoner in Auschwitz. So it's an incredibly powerful, tiny little book full of like brilliant life philosophy. And I think it would be helpful for literally anyone. It's a fascinating look at the experience in the concentration camp, but he's delivering it in like an analytical, scholarly way. So it's not like super dramatic or emotional. It's very like factual and practical. And in some ways that kind of helped because All the Light We Cannot See was definitely more emotional, dramatic narrative. Oh, I loved it. I think I rated this 4.75.
I finished up Fury of the Gods, which is the last book in the Bloodsworn saga by John Gwynne. And I was really sick a couple days ago, and I finished this book while 1,000 war scenes are happening. I couldn't read a book, so I was listening, and it was so brutal. So I rated it 4 stars because it was just a lot of war scenes, and I think I just wasn't in the mood for them. But when it comes to characters that you're going to love, a plot that is fast-paced and is going to give you such fun adventure, John Gwynne is incredible, and I cannot wait to go on with his other series. I think I'm going to start Malice in 2025 because this series made me know that I can trust the guy. He can write a book.
Okay, how did it go? Well, I finished The Rainwild Chronicles by Robin Hobb.
Oh, she loves Robin this year.
I love her so much. And I finished City of Dragons and Blood of Dragons. Wow. The Blood of Dragons was such an epic ending. I was just like floored, flabbergasted. I think I was like in disbelief as I was reading it that it was actually happening.
Oh my gosh.
And then I was like emotional, and I don't know. It was brilliant. It was really, really brilliant. I don't know how I'm going to wait to read the final trilogy in Realm of the Elderlings, The Fitz and the Fool.
Yeah.
But I am. I'm locking in on Wheel of Time, and I'm going to delay my gratification of finishing Realm of the Elderlings until I hit the slog of Wheel of Time. That is the current plan.
She's a planner.
I'm a planner. I rated City of Dragons 4.5, and I rated Blood of Dragons 4.75. And highly satisfied.
Our sister Grace has a book club at work, and they were reading Slow Productivity by Cal Newport. She said I would enjoy it, so I read it and immediately was putting into action all the things that I want to change in 2025.
And I was like, what is going on? And you were like, this book.
I was like, you have to read it too.
So then I read it too.
So then Maddie read it too. I love it because I had so many gold nuggets, and I constantly left my listening session feeling very inspired and wanting to take to my journal.
I really liked it because Cal is a journalist by trade, and so he kind of lays out his research that way.
Yeah.
Like, it's very journalistic. He researched all of these successful people.
Like Jane Austen.
Jane Austen and Jewel, the musician, and the Beatles, and he uses their experiences and their paths to success as examples to kind of lay out his proposal for a better way to be productive today. And I was hugely inspired. It was also just validating because I think Kristen and I do implement a lot of the strategies already in terms of protecting our time, keeping our schedule light, blocking time for creative endeavors, and seeking to not be constantly interrupted. It was just kind of validating. That I was like, oh yeah, like sometimes it can feel like we're just like not willing to be as busy as super successful people. And then it's like, no, like you can be really successful by just being really focused and not being like busy for busy's sake, I would say is the point of the book.
Our society sometimes makes being busy seem so sexy and so cool. And I'm like, well, I don't really know any really busy people that are living my dream life at all. Because my dream life creates a lot of space. And I think he really does a good job talking about ways to create space. And I like having helpful tools. So not only are you like, oh, I just feel so good and inspired, he actually gives you tools that I felt like I could start implementing right away. And so I'm excited to see what 2025 looks like. This was a perfect time to read this. So if you're looking for like a new year, new you type of book, I would highly recommend. I rated this book 4 stars.
I rated it a 3.5. Highly enjoyed it though. Best read of the month? Best read.
Okay, so I'm just going to tell you up front, the enjoyment of these 2 reads was 5 stars. Now, could I rate these books 5 stars? No, because they're not like groundbreaking. They're not like soul crushing. I have been in Zodiac Academy for a few months now, but I think I'm ready for the binge, okay? And that's what's been happening. I read Dark Fae and book 2, Savage Fae. The covers are offensive. They are atrocious. They are repulsive. But the content inside. So these are by Carolyn Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. The Zodiac Academy is large, but there's a couple spinoffs. So I am currently in the Ruthless Boys spinoff, which has all new characters that I have not met yet in the main series. Spicy chili peppers, it's infinity. This was
We
spice
love this for you.
written for me, but also it's funny, and I love humor in my books. I want to laugh out loud. I want to highlight it because it's a joke I want to save, put it in my pocket, and give it to someone else later. Zodiac Academy has a large cast. It's got really hot characters. It's always got some sort of a murder, and it's a academic setting. So if you tend to like my reads, I think you might like it.
I am tempted.
No,
But
she's gonna ruin it for me.
It's not going to happen anytime soon, but I am tempted. My best read was Wind and Truth by
Another
Brandon
romantasy?
Sanderson. Nope. This is book 5 in the Stormlight Archive. It came out this month. Wind and Truth. It was long anticipated. It was a very tall order. I think it was an incredibly difficult thing for Brandon Sanderson to tie up all of the plot threads he has woven through the Cosmere in this book. Not that it's like finished by any means, but he did bring a lot of things together in this book, and I think that was difficult. And he did it in a really satisfying way. I was sobbing through the end, which is the only thing I can ask for with Brandon Sanderson. The emotional beats were perfect. I did post a review of this, so if you want to know like full thoughts and rating breakdown of this one, I can give you that. But it was a 4.75 for me. Nearly perfect. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We hope that your December was as solid as ours.
Yeah, I would prefer a month full of a bunch of 4-star reads that I loved than like 5-star reads, but then slogs. No, thank you.
No, thank you. If you would like to join our motherfucking family on Patreon, we love them so much. Shout out to the motherfucking family. We are going to be reading The Fellowship of the Ring in January and watching the Fellowship of the Ring movies by Peter Jackson.
With her husband and our dad.
Oh yeah, we have guest stars this month because they're the real experts and we just need
Not
to
us.
bring the family together. But that kicks off January 1st. You can join at the link below. And we love you all so much. We will see you in our next video.
Thanks for watching.